Thanks, Alicia. So eagerly awaiting for a few things. One of them is the outcome of the steering committee's meeting on the 68 votes. The missing 68 votes, were those people absent? Cyril Ramaphosa's camp apparently saying no, there are votes, but they were kept separately. And this is very material for the position of Secretary General Willoughby Ace Magashula, who was elected and who's reportedly heading the steering committee that's looking at this, which may cause problems for those who wish that Senzo Mngcono was elected from the Cyril Ramaphosa camp. We're waiting for that. Cyril Ramaphosa himself about to do a walkout of Nasrec. There's a business lounge, of course, some of the business representatives there. We saw yesterday President Jacob Zuma speaking to the head of Telkom and other businesses as well, and walking around this precinct, and we'll bring you that live when we can. Also, a lot of anticipation. Then it came, the ANC Women's League report back. They, of course, hugely disappointed that Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma was not elected. And you had it there in your headlines, Alicia. Huge disappointment, going as far as to say that OR Tambo would be turning in his grave because the top 6 officials, among them only one woman, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, was not elected president. However, a few contradictions. One of them that the head of the Women's League, the president, Bathabile Dlamini-Zuma, has made claims against Cyril Ramaphosa, which again today she refused to elaborate on or evaded the question if she's accused him of abuse. Where are the women affected? Surely that's a serious claim that needs to be fleshed out. She did not. Then the issue of violence. She said we always support women. And we know that the ANC Women's League has not always done that. She said that Jessie Duarte as well, the Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, re-elected, was only re-elected because she was standing against another woman. Otherwise, she would have been thrown under the bus. But then what about the ANC Women's League stance not to support Lindiwe Sisulu, who maybe with a bit more support could have been deputy president? All right, so that's some of the contradictions, but raising a real issue that has been echoed here, that the ANC itself really has pushed gender equality, has pushed female representation. So what will the ANC itself do now that among the top 6 only one woman, and it seems like that fight for more representation may be taking a back step. Another interesting claim at that conference was that the report back from the Women's League was put forward by Xasa, Minister Xasa of Tourism, talking about the fact that some on the Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma slate, some men were elected, but she suggested that they were in fact using Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. Let's take a listen.
The President also indicated on the men who have made up into the ladder of being officials, that men used the face of our campaign, and today they are in that structure. They did not pull the candidate up. They used it as a ladder for themselves. That one we are not shy to say. They used that as a ladder for themselves. It's our demonstration to yourselves to say, this is how patriarchy is rearing its ugly head in our society. Because that's the demonstration that you also get, be it at work, be it at home, be it anywhere and everywhere. It is something that needs to be fought. We'll still put up that fight as women.
All right, my colleague Aldrin St-Pierre is standing by with the woman who made that claim not too long ago here at Nasrec, Tokozile Xasa. Over to you, Aldrin.
Well, yes, indeed, the minister joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. What happened? What happened? Why is it that women are not represented? Why is there a lack of representation of women in the top 6?
You know, the disappointment that we are having takes us to really analyze, to say, what happened. We are asking the very same question, but we are not surprised because patriarchy is really rife in our society, and it is also manifesting itself in ANC structures. Because if you look into the campaign, we're very clear to say we have a candidate, and we also went to lobby throughout, coming okay, but one issue around it, even when we were assessing the background, we would find that the moment we announced that we are nominating a candidate who would be a woman, elements of sexism came up from men, elements that would indicate that is an act, reducing...
Was this inside the ANC?
Inside the ANC itself. That's where it started. So you could then see the manifestation in the outcome, because we have only one woman. And the contestation that you see even on Comrade Jessie's and Comrade Losi's nomination, it's a woman pitched against another woman. But where a woman was competing against a man,
yeah,
men succeeded. So you can see that it is something that is embedded.
So it's not even about Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. It's not about the individual Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, but it is about her gender.
It is issues of gender. And, it's so disappointing because ANC is 105 years. And women, even for participating in the ANC, had to fight. So it indicates to us that we still need to continue the fight. But we are taking back the fight to the ANC itself, because it is a leader of society. The manifestation that we see in the structures, it is what is happening in homes, it is what is happening at work, it is what is happening even in the empowerment of women and distribution of resources. It's like women must sit there and can only, receive when men
allow them to.
Yes.
They need some sort of permission from men to say that we endorse you, accept you. But earlier on, you made a comment during the press briefing where you said that the likes of Didi Mabuza, Ace Mahoshula, have used the face of Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma because she was the campaign leader, she was the face of the campaign, and she didn't succeed, but these men have.
We had a very clear cause as women, that we're advancing, we're putting together a woman who is a member of the African National Congress. For the first time in the ANC history, that a female is, put forward as a candidate for president of the African National Congress. And yes, we went to lobby all the provinces. And the outcome out here was so, disappointing, because all of the men, they've made their way up, and our candidate didn't.
Why? What happened?
We still feel it's subjected to the fact that, one, if you look into all the 9 provinces of the African National Congress, not a single one is led by a woman. And it tells you, when it comes to issues of power, men don't compromise. You can be a comrade and comrade, but they still want to be in power. So you could see that, this is a matter that is even broader than just the structures of the ANC.
Do you as the ANC Women's League feel that these men that were on the list to form part of this list, which was being led by Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, have betrayed your trust?
We feel sad. We feel that we are really dealt a heavy blow for the struggles of women, because these are struggles that the ANC itself is supposed to be at the center of. Celebrating the year of OR Tambo, he should be turning in his grave, because even when they introduced issues of emancipating women, to sit and chair that committee within the ANC, it was not easy. So you can see the regression now that is there in the structures. So we are hurting as women.
But the unfortunate part, though, is that although the likes of Lindiwe Sisulu were not on the initial list that that the ANC Women's League have endorsed and said that these are the candidates that we are putting forward for the 6 positions, why didn't the ANC Women's League, when it was then decided that looking at the list of people who will stand and who will be on the ballot paper after the credentials were adopted, why didn't the ANC Women's League say that let's support Lindiwe Sisulu as well? As she is a female, she may not be a member of the ANC Women's League per se, but she is a female within the ANC.
You see, this is a product of a lot of lobbying. And in the lobbying, as I indicate to you that in the 9 provinces of the African National Congress, they are led by men. And the process has been coming from branches to nominate leaders, and that then gets consolidated. At this level of the conference, you cannot start from scratch to begin to put names. When names were called from the floor, you know, that process could not assist to come up with new names. But one other thing is that the ANC Women's League is regarded as a province, one of the 12 provinces within this. So we had the name of Mama Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, just like you would then get in another province, they're having a name of Comrade Didi Mabuza. If you, and in another province, they would have the name of Comrade Ace Makashul. Then it is subjected to the lobbying around those names. So we had a name as the ANC Women's that went to lobby. So it's not a situation where you can bring in 5 names and say to them, let all your branches vote for all the names. But the 6 women that we identified as part of women that we would want to see in the national executive of the Women's League constituted Umama Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, Umama Nosiviwe Maphisa Ngakula, Umama Lindiwe Sisulu, Umama Nomvula Mkunyana, Umama Jessie Duarte, no, just forget this, the 6th name. But we had those names, and those names are still there in the leadership of the ANC. But as a front runner for presidency, that's the name that we're lobbying throughout.
But it does then mean that you guys were betrayed. It means that these men have betrayed the ANC Women's League, because certainly there has been lobbying that has been going on, and eventually the ANC Women's League then decided to vote for Didi Mabuza, for instance.
Yes, after the lobbying, as you could see in the sequencing, for instance, they did not put a presidential candidate. They put the other positions. So we're of the opinion that if you look into the numbers as they were coming out, you find that with theirs, there are more of your numbers that would have come up voting each other, whilst ours are a bit less.
I would probably
so we do say they have betrayed the struggle of women.
I would probably say to the ANC Women's League that you have been outsmarted by specifically Didi Mabuza, because someone like Didi Mabuza, who is the chairperson of the ANC in Mpumalanga, as you mentioned, that they didn't have a name on top. And it was per his instruction. He said that the people in the province should vote for unity, that they should nominate from unity. Shouldn't it have been that at that point the ANC Women's League must have realized that this is not going to work for us, and so in that case we cannot support this candidate Didi Mabuza to become the Deputy President of the ANC? And what happens now going forward, because now he is the Deputy President of the ANC? Do you really think that he'll be fighting for the emancipation of women, the representation of women?
You see, the conference is an ANC conference. The women are women who also are members of the African National Congress, and some of them are members of the ANC Women's League. Our struggle continues as women, because even amongst women who voted, it's not like all the women or all the men voted against the candidate that we had. The thing is, you know, when it comes to these kinds of conferences, there's a lot of lobbying and underground, whatever, consultations that are taking place. And for us, we want also, as we would be going back to assess what happened and where, because at the moment we don't want to make judgments as such, but we are just unhappy with the outcome, and we want the ANC to correct it, because issues of struggles of women are not just, and gender issues are not just issues for women. There are societal issues. The ANC has to be in the forefront. So we still want to take back this, and as we would be analyzing, we'll also be referring into incidents as they happen.
I know that probably it would be too early to make this decision right now, but I guess that considering that the ANC Women's League has already put its foot down and saying that it wants a female candidate, will this be the stance of the ANC Women's League heading forward, even with the provincial conferences? We know, for at least now, as it stands, there are 2 provinces that won't have a chairperson. That is the Free State as well as Mpumalanga. Will the ANC Women's League in those 2 provinces be lobbying and ensuring that the person who gets elected in those 2 provinces, as you've pointed out, that all the chairpersons are male, that those 2 people who would be appointed or elected in those 2 provinces are women?
We definitely have to intensify our efforts. We do want to see provincial chairpersons who are women, because, you know, that in itself, as we were doing at the national conference, we were bringing hope to that woman you find, that mother that you find who is unemployed, who is sick, whose children cannot go to school. We wanted to present a girl child with the hope that as a woman, when I grow up, I can be a president, I can be in decision-making structure. So we cannot stop at any point. We're looking at presenting hope for women not to be used against other women out there, because women are capable of leading. So we will intensify our struggle and get back and strengthen our structures. But the ANC has a responsibility for our mother body, because this is not just a struggle of women by women. It has to be a struggle by the African National Congress to change around a society, to respect women, to give women opportunity, to make sure that women's capabilities are recognized.
Have you spoken to Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma?
We have.
What is she saying?
That is a very strong leader. You know, she was even stronger than every one of us. We are still proud of her, because even before yesterday, she was upfront to say, this is a democratic process. Women have given me an opportunity to represent them. And if I win, it would be a victory, a cherry on top for the whole of society, but for the brave women who stand up and get into the structures and are often insulted by other women, it will be a victory for those women to see the importance of supporting the cause of the ANC Women's League. She accepted the outcome. We also cannot change the processes of the ANC, but we are getting back to say the ANC cannot be happy to see like that, where there's only one.
Was she at all saddened by this? Did she express any sadness, considering that you only have one female who's represented in the top 6. Did she say that, well, we have fought a good struggle, although we did not emerge victoriously, but as Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, the champion for women's rights, I feel quite saddened by the outcome of these top officials?
We all say we are saddened by the outcome. She's part of us. 2, she accepts the outcome because it was the processes, democratic processes, but it also says to all of us, including her, we must work very hard. We must not just think that when we are all together with men, ultimately men can leave power just swiftly like that. We have to fight. No, not at all.
Yep.
So we have to fight. We have to fight fearlessly.
Let's speak about the next hurdle for the ANC. The next hurdle will be the 2019 elections. And if it is going the way the ANC hopes that it goes, that the ANC would win the 2019 elections and Cyril Ramaphosa is elected as a president of the country, would the ANC Women's League want to see Cyril Ramaphosa take a stance where he says that the deputy president of the country must be a female, because that is his prerogative to make?
Indeed, we, as I'm saying, we are taking this fight into the conference, back to the African National Congress, because it's its responsibility. It's in the Constitution, the representation of women. The 50-50 that we fought for is in the Constitution of the ANC. So the African National Congress must pronounce. We expect the president of the African National Congress to take the lead and lead the organization to do the right thing. So that is our expectation.
But even at an executive level, even at the level of deputy president?
Everywhere where there is deployment by the African National Congress, at branch level, that's what we're expecting. It has to go up, because if they see it not happening at national level, we cannot force provinces, we cannot make regions, neither branches. Then it means the majority of the people that we find in our communities who are members of the African National Congress cannot therefore participate in the manner that is the women who constitute the majority of the population cannot participate, because men could continue to dictate who must be in those structures.
Just in parting short quickly, there is this whole contestation over alleged votes that have disappeared, 63, 68 of the votes that have disappeared. The ANC Women's League's take on this one, what should happen now? Do you think maybe that there should be a rerun of the votes, or the votes should just be recounted?
At the moment, it has not formally been presented, so it will be subjected to the plenary. That's where we're still going to share more of the details. And I think the conference would be in a better position to discuss around those and give guidance.
Have you received any confirmation as yet whether there are indeed votes that are missing?
We haven't had any formal communication to that effect.
Okay, so plenary sits around about 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you have it from Tokozile Xasa speaking about the outcomes of the top 6 officials. Of course, only one female who's represented there, and that is Jessie Duarte. And earlier on during the press briefing, the ANC Women's League also indicated that the only reason that Jessie Duarte won was because that she was going up against another female. Had it been a male who was contesting the position that Zingiswa Losi found herself in, the outcomes may have possibly have been that the top 6 officials of the ANC may have all have been male. Francis?
Thank you very much, Aldrin. Yeah, something that the ANC itself, as you can see, is digesting and talking about, given its history and its promotion of gender issues. All right, so that's a wrap from me, from Nasrec for now. I can tell you that throughout the day we'll continue to follow what happened with those 68 votes. Apparently 63 votes of the 68 were in fact cast, but for some reason they were kept separately and they were not counted, and this is material for the post of Secretary General, which, to the disappointment of the Cyril Ramaphosa camp, went to Ace Magashule, who was firmly in the Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma camp. We'll follow that and we'll bring you the walkabout. Cyril Ramaphosa, the new president of the ANC, will be touring this facility this afternoon. For now, from me, goodbye. Aldrin will take it from here.